Did you know that a simple piece of equipment could transform your daily walk into a powerful bone building workout? Weighted vests are gaining popularity for boosting bone health, especially for people with osteoporosis. But is it right for you? That's what we're here to explore today. In a recent video, I talked about the benefits and the limitations of walking for osteoporosis, particularly how it supports bone health. Many of you had follow-up questions about weighted vests, how they work, who should use them, and how to choose the best one. So I decided to dedicate this video to answering all of those questions and more. We'll dive into everything that you need to know about weighted vests, including who might benefit from them, who should avoid them, and what features you should look for when you're choosing one. And before we get started, I'd love to hear from you. If there are other topics that you'd like me to cover, drop a comment below. Your suggestions help me to create videos that are not only informative, but also tailored to your interests. Now let's jump into today's topic, weighted vests for osteoporosis. Hi, I'm Sarah and I'm a nutritional health coach through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition and a BoneFit certified fitness instructor. I'm also a 500-hour trained yoga teacher with additional training that's specific to osteoporosis and yoga. I'm on a mission to reduce the number of osteoporotic fractures that happen each year, and I am glad to have you join me in the journey to better bone health. We'll start with the benefits of weighted vests, and then we'll move on to exercises, who they're for, and finally tips for choosing the right one. Wearing a weighted vest is a simple form of resistance training. The added weight makes your muscles work harder. It helps you to burn more calories and it improves your balance. All are great things for bone health. Wearing a weighted vest makes any activity that you do more challenging. Whether you're walking or doing some other form of exercise, it increases the intensity and works your muscles harder. With walking, for example, adding a weighted vest increases the intensity of your workout. Your body has to work harder to walk quickly while wearing a weighted vest. The same is true for any exercise. If you do squats while wearing a weighted vest, your whole body works harder than it would without the vest. Your body has the resistance of the weighted vest, and as part of that, it has to use muscles to keep you stable. The additional work to maintain stability will strengthen both your tummy muscles and your glutes, which are both muscles that will ultimately help you to have better posture and reduce your risk of having a fracture. A brief side note here about weights and squats. Two forms of squats, deadlifts and back squats, are exercises that were used in the Lift More study that saw significant improvements for bone density in a relatively short period of time of only 8 months. These squats were performed lifting heavy, as in 80% of a person's max ability to lift. This is an absolutely wonderful thing where it works in someone's body. But lifting heavy doesn't work for everyone, and not everyone should be doing exercises like the ones that were used in the Lift More study. The thing to keep in mind is that all is not lost if you can't lift heavy, and all is also not lost if you need to adapt exercises in a way that works better for your body. It's actually the opposite of lost. You improve your bone health and you gain something really valuable, which is finding a way to make exercise work in your body. I think that it's a great way to adapt squats to do them while wearing a weighted vest. Balance is affected by adding weight, even a weighted vest. But it's a lot easier to have better balance if you have your hands free and you're wearing your weight than if you're holding a heavy weight on one side of your body. Squats can be adapted on their own. You can have them be deep, very mild, or somewhere in the middle. You can do squats as a hover, halfway between sitting and standing up from a chair. You can even do them holding onto a kitchen counter to help considerably with balance. By adding a weighted vest to any of these different variations, you gain the benefits of resistance training. Think about your current routine. Could a weighted vest be a game changer for you? There's an interesting scientific study that measured bone density for a group of 18 postmenopausal women who wore weighted vests. The women in the study engaged in a 5-year program where they exercised for 32 weeks out of every year. They exercised 3 times a week, and during each of their sessions, they included jumping while they were wearing a weighted vest. Researchers found that bone mineral density at the femoral neck, which is where the thigh bone connects to the hip bone, either maintained or it slightly increased, while the control group for the study experienced a significant decrease in bone mineral density at the femoral neck. This is a really significant finding. Think of the femoral neck as a tiny hinge that supports a heavy door. It's small, but it's crucial. That's why strengthening it, even slightly, can make a big difference. In general, it's easier to strengthen the spine than it is to strengthen the hips and especially the femoral neck. So anytime that you see something that causes the femoral neck to maintain or improve, even when the improvement is really small, it's worth paying attention to. That means that jumping on the ground while wearing a weighted vest can make a really positive difference to the femoral neck and hips. This is significantly different from jumping on a rebounder. There's more impact jumping on the ground and even more impact when you're jumping while wearing a weighted vest. That's worth knowing. Remember that the goal here is to improve bone density, to strengthen muscles, and to enhance balance, all of which reduce fracture risk. All of that said, it's also important to know that not every exercise works in every person's body, and that just like adapting squats is important to fit into your body and what works for you, the same is also true with jumping. Jumping isn't going to work for everyone, and jumping on a hard surface with a weighted vest is also not going to work for everyone. We're looking at possibilities here of things to experiment with and to see what does work effectively in your body. If something doesn't work well, that's okay. Don't give up, and instead look for a different way. Find something else that does work in your body. Another way to create impact for your body is by doing heel drops. This is an exercise that can be done as a balance exercise or while holding on to something sturdy like your kitchen counter. My point here is that scientific studies are interesting, insightful, and potentially really helpful, but we don't have to do things exactly as they're done in a study. It's helpful to take the principal learning from the study and then apply it in a way that works in our bodies individually. In the study about wearing a weighted vest and jumping, we can see that wearing a weighted vest is helpful, and so is having impact for our bones. There are other exercises that we can do while wearing a weighted vest, such as walking or doing lunges or squats. And there are also other ways to get impact, like doing heel drops. If jumping isn't for you, don't worry. The principle is to add impact and resistance in ways that work for you. That might mean that you walk. It might mean that you do heel drops or squats with a weighted vest instead. So far, we've gone over the benefits of wearing a weighted vest and some ways to exercise while you're wearing a weighted vest. But wearing a weighted vest might not be appropriate for everyone. Next, let's talk about some back conditions that frequently accompany osteoporosis that may affect whether or not wearing a weighted vest is actually appropriate for you. If you have scoliosis, it may or it may not be appropriate for you to wear a weighted vest. If you have severe scoliosis, which is considered having a Cobb angle of more than 45 degrees, and you have pain and spinal instability, then adding a weighted vest could really aggravate your symptoms and cause additional pain, which is definitely something that you want to avoid. A Cobb angle is the measurement that doctors use to determine the spinal curvature that a person with scoliosis has. It measures how severe a scoliosis curve is. If you have mild to moderate scoliosis with a Cobb angle that's smaller than 45 degrees and you don't have any painful symptoms, then wearing a lighter end weighted vest that has closer to a 5% of your body weight might still be helpful, because wearing a weighted vest has the potential to create more stable muscles, which can help to better support your alignment and your posture over time. So if you have mild to moderate scoliosis and you want to wear a weighted vest, look for a vest that has symmetry, that distributes weight evenly to avoid putting any imbalance of weight on your spine. It's also better to focus on doing low impact activities like walking while wearing a weighted vest rather than doing something like jumping in the study that I previously mentioned if you happen to have scoliosis and you're using a weighted vest. If you have a herniated or a bulging disc in your spine, then wearing a weighted vest is contraindicated, which means don't do it because it could lead to more inflammation and pain. Instead, wait for your disc to heal before you try wearing a weighted vest. If you have spinal stenosis, you may also want to avoid wearing a weighted vest. With spinal stenosis, there's less space between the vertebrae that could have been caused by either disc degeneration over time or from a series of compression fractures or from some other back condition entirely. Regardless of how your stenosis developed, having spinal stenosis means that there's less space between the vertebrae, and it means that the nerves get pinched, which can cause a lot of pain and be highly uncomfortable. Wearing a weighted vest bears down on your spine, and with stenosis, this means that you have potentially even less space between your vertebrae than what you're already initially working with, which has the potential to increase pain, and it makes wearing a weighted vest not a good idea with spinal stenosis. Kyphosis is a permanent rounding over of the spine. Kyphosis could develop from disc degeneration or from a series of compression fractures. Kyphosis can put pressure on the internal organs that reside in your rib cage and make it more difficult to breathe fully and easily. Wearing a weighted vest with kyphosis bears down with additional weight, pulling the wearer even further forward into poor posture, which is not a good idea with bone health. So if you have permanent kyphosis, don't wear a weighted vest. There are plenty of other exercises that you can do with hand weights and resistance bands, and there is no benefit that can come from wearing a weighted vest with kyphosis. Also, if you've recently experienced a compression fracture or if you've recently had back surgery, give your body time to properly heal before you wear a weighted vest. If a weighted vest isn't right for you, don't worry. There are plenty of other ways to improve bone health that include using resistance bands and hand weights and your own body weight. The key is finding what works for your body. So if you don't have any back conditions that are contraindicated and you want the benefits that can come from wearing a weighted vest, let's have a look at what you should look for in a weighted vest before you buy one. First off, I suggest that before you invest in a weighted vest that you try out what it feels like to have weight on your back. Place a few heavy books in a backpack and wear that while you're exercising to see how it feels in your body. If you like it and then you want to invest in a weighted vest, here are some guidelines that you should consider when you're making your purchase. Look for a vest that has adjustable weight. Many vests have weight that can be added or removed to better meet the needs of the wearer. You want to wear a weight that is generally between 5 and 10% of your total body weight in a weighted vest. When you first start wearing a weighted vest, you want this amount to be on the lighter end of things, closer to 5%. For example, if someone weighs 120 pounds, 5% of that would be 6 pounds. For that same 120 pound person, 10% of that would be 12 pounds. This would make buying a weighted vest that has variable weight of between 5 and 15 pounds a nice weight for a person in our example. You want to add weight gradually to your workouts as previous weight gets easier and easier. With bone health, we want to gradually, progressively add weight to continue making our muscles work hard in a way that will get them to pull on our bones and stimulate new bone growth. This means that once you get to the point where 10% of your body weight is really easy with a weighted vest, then it might be time to continue and increase that amount by up to as much as 20% of your body weight. That 20% is the upper limit for wearing a weighted vest. And if you're to increase it to that much of your body weight, make sure that you do so slowly and gradually with caution. And also, if you're going up to that much, it's important to work with a fitness professional who understands the ins and outs of osteoporosis. You also want to work towards exercising with a weighted vest 2 to 3 times per week. So things to consider if you're going to buy one. Is the fit of the vest that you're interested in secure? Is it designed for a person that's approximately your size? What's the material made out of? Is the material washable? You want to find something that has breathable material like neoprene or nylon so that you don't get too hot while you're wearing your weighted vest. Some vests even have moisture wicking liners that help to reduce sweat, which is a nice addition in my opinion. You want to be able to wash your vest so that it doesn't get too stinky. Yuck! Do the straps on the weighted vest have padding? Is it comfortable to actually wear? You want something that's padded to make it comfortable, to make it something that you can actually exercise and move around in. You also want to look for a vest that's on the slimmer side rather than something that's bulky, because it'll be easier to move around in something that is slimmer and less bulky. Is the weight on the vest evenly distributed? You want a vest that has weight evenly distributed to avoid putting too much strain on your back. Look for something that has weight distributed front to back to help you to maintain proper posture. And speaking of posture, don't wear a weighted vest unless you are standing with good posture. This means that you shouldn't just wear your weighted vest around all day long while you go about your daily activities. It's likely that throughout the day you're going to have less than ideal posture at some point throughout the day, and wearing a weighted vest with poor posture has the potential to cause damage, which we don't want. Instead, it's better to wear your weighted vest for a designated activity, such as going for a walk or exercising, and then take the vest off to ensure that you have excellent posture while you're wearing it. This will strengthen your bones and your posture and protect you from any potential accident that could happen from having poor posture while you're wearing your weighted vest. It's also generally better when you buy a weighted vest to have the weight be placed up higher on your thoracic section of your spine as opposed to lower down in the lumbar region of your spine. Weight that's up higher is more likely to load weight evenly throughout your shoulders and your whole upper body. It mimics our body's natural weight-bearing forces. It's also more likely to reduce strain on your low back and to improve your balance at the same time. Having weight up higher helps to optimize weight-bearing load, which is a really good thing for our bodies in general. So if you've ever tried a weighted vest, I would love to hear about your experience. Leave me a comment down below. Wearing a weighted vest can be a fantastic way to improve bone health, to build muscle strength, and to enhance balance, but it's not for everyone. If you have certain back conditions, it's essential to proceed with caution or to avoid wearing a weighted vest altogether. For those who can use a weighted vest, make sure that you carefully choose the right weighted vest, one that has adjustable weight, even distribution, and a comfortable fit. Start out using lighter weights, focusing on good posture, and then gradually progressing to reap the most benefits. Remember, it's all about finding what works for your body. If something doesn't feel right, that's okay. Adapt it, try a different exercise, or consult with a fitness professional to create a program that's tailored specifically for you. Bone health is a journey, and every step or squat that you take in the right direction makes a difference. You have so many tools at your disposal to strengthen your bones and to take control of your health. Weighted vests are just one option. Together, let's find the option that works the best for you. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to better bone health. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, share it with someone that you know and love who might benefit from this information, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss future videos. And as always, let me know in the comments what you would like to learn about next. I'm here to help you every step of the way. Until next time, stay strong, stay balanced, and take care of your bones. I look forward to talking with you soon.